This is the next update for A Fox's Cry. We are featuring 0.3.4 baby steps. So in this update, there was a few things we wanted done. The first thing being, we want the design of the game in the final draft. In other words, we want the design of the game to be pretty much done at this point. Maybe minor revisions here and there as we recognize changes that need to be made. But for the most part, it should be pretty concrete. Next week, engine and code should be in the foundation phase. This just means that the main menu should be functional and the user should be able to walk on a ground in the right direction. The next week was focused on the artwork. We wanted the baby fox made, ground made, bush made, forest made, and a new tree sprite. There was actually some revisions to this. Instead of using one whole background pane, what is now being done is, if we go to the scenes, introduction, we can see here that as opposed to using one sprite, we actually have it layered off with various Z indexes, and are just using a collection of sprites. Another thing to note here is the actual artwork issues that arose. A bit of an oversight was the lack of making sure correct sizes are being used when making the assets. This is actually the first asset we made in the game, this bush, and we made it in a 64 by 64 as we intended to use a higher resolution. As we were making various animals and such, though, we recognized that a smaller size was easier for animation, and so the bush will need to get scaled down a bit. While this is technically a baby fox, the bush shouldn't be that big in comparison. So that's another thing we'll be touching up in the near future. Probably compromise, like this is 32 by 64, we'll probably scale it up by 1.5 and scale this down by about 1.5 as well. Or maybe even 2 times, depending upon what we feel here. We definitely don't want the bush to be as large as the tree, but it should be large enough to hold a medium-sized predator, as our artwork indicates. Here, with the predator kind of peeking through the bush there. And then moving on, we had just like a whole week just kind of touching up things if it was needed. This whole week was actually spent instead working on some other things. So now if I bring this into view here, go ahead and widen that up. In the home page of the website, cladfoxgames.com, we have of course our game with the devlogs. Still have to add one for the baby steps update, but that will be coming probably as this YouTube video is uploaded. There will be the update in here, and we've also added a new blog section. So here we can see just like various like how-tos, or other things such as like best pixel art programs, just random things we encounter that we might find useful to other developers. So here is just like describing what the best pixel art programs are. Of course, all of these are pretty subjective with a bit of objective thrown in there. I do think that Sprite, Fiscal App, Paint 3D, and Photoshop are the best pixel art programs, but of course, this is pretty subjective. It is based on some objective measures, but for the most part, when we say it's the best, it's our best. It's what we believe is the best. Alongside other things. So yeah, this is the new blog section that was been made. We will also be adding advertisements, but the advertisements will only be in the blogs. Really believe in the lack of advertisements for something that's already being paid for. I think that's really silly and that's kind of slimy. But the blogs are a completely separate thing from the actual games we're producing. The games we're attaching a price tag on, the blogs are free. And they're not even up yet. As you can see, I've been working on it up here. But yeah, so that is the baby steps update. If we are to reopen the engine here, you can kind of see the interface that's going on. Launch the game. Might not be able to see all of it because I have a larger screen monitor here. While the movement's a bit derpy right now, I do have a nice, or no, I shouldn't say nice, it's a work in progress slide effect here. I'd like there to be an acceleration, and then as the longer you move towards the right and then stop, you gain momentum or acceleration as you move to the right, and the greater the acceleration you have, the harder you stop, and there's like a cloud of dust that arises when you abruptly stop. This is all just work in progress, of course, and ideas currently being tinkered with is all. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.